It's hard to believe, but the mighty Burger King, the brand that once ruled the fast food world with its legendary Whopper, is now facing one of the most devastating crises in its history. A judge has just ruled that Burger King must face a lawsuit claiming the Whopper looks bigger on menu boards than it actually is. And while that might sound like just another day in corporate court, it's actually symbolic of something much deeper. Because the truth is, the Burger King empire isn't just shrinking on paper, it's crumbling in spirit. Remember when the Whopper was the undisputed king of burgers? Back in the day, that flame-grilled patty was the stuff of legend. Bigger, beefier, and smokier than anything McDonald's could dream up. But somewhere along the line, Burger King got comfortable. While the rest of the fast food world evolved, BK sat back on its grease-stained throne, assuming that nostalgia would keep the crown shiny forever. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Today, Burger King feels like it's stuck in the past. While Five Guys hand-cuts their fries and lets you pile on 17 different toppings, and Shake Shack turns burgers into a gourmet experience worthy of Instagram, Burger King is still dishing out the same old formula from 1957. Even Wendy's, yes, Wendy's, has reinvented itself with pretzel buns, spicy nuggets, and limited edition creations that actually feel fresh. But Burger King? They've been running the same playbook for decades, and it shows. Only 18% of Gen Z names Burger King as their favorite fast food chain. That's not a stat, that's a cry for help. Meanwhile, McDonald's and Chick-fil-A can barely keep up with demand. Burger King, on the other hand, is being left to collect dust. And the saddest part? Even the people who once loved the Whopper have started to see it for what it is, just another overprocessed meal that tastes like regret and disappointment. Once upon a time, the phrase flame grilled meant something. It was a promise of quality, of authenticity. Now, it's more like a punchline. Walk into 3 different Burger King locations, and you will probably get 3 completely different experiences, none of them great. One Whopper might taste like it was charred in a forest fire, while another is so soggy it could double as a sponge. The lettuce is limp, the buns are sad, and the overall consistency is about as reliable as a politician's campaign promise. Food critics have noticed too. In blind taste tests, Burger King consistently ranks near the bottom, a humiliating position for a company that built its brand on supposedly better-tasting burgers. But the problem goes deeper than taste. Somewhere along the way, the company decided that cutting corners was a good way to stay competitive. Spoiler, it wasn't. Because here's a shocking discovery, people actually want their food to taste good. Who knew? In 2023, Burger King's brand loyalty dropped by more than 12%. Customers didn't leave because of price, they left because of quality. That's not just a dip in sales. That's a death sentence in slow motion. And it's not like Burger King hasn't tried to innovate. Remember the Satisfries fiasco? Their healthier fries that flopped harder than a fish out of water? Or the Impossible Whopper, their big leap into plant-based eating that somehow managed to offend both vegetarians and meat lovers at the same time. The problem wasn't the idea, it was the execution. Vegetarians felt betrayed when they found out their meatless burgers were cooked on the same grills as beef patties. And meat eaters? They thought it was a gimmick. Nobody was satisfied, and the company's reputation took another hit. Meanwhile, other fast food chains saw where the world was heading. McDonald's introduced apple slices, salads, and calorie transparency. Subway built an empire around Eat Fresh. Even Taco Bell started offering vegetarian options and cleaner ingredients. Burger King, on the other hand, doubled down on its ultra-processed everything. And now, with Americans becoming more health-conscious than ever, BK's sodium-packed, chemical-laden menu looks less like comfort food and more like a cautionary tale. Parents don't want to feed their kids a science experiment in a bun. And when your customer base starts viewing your food as a health hazard, you're in serious trouble. But food quality isn't the only area where Burger King dropped the ball. Their marketing has been just as disastrous. Who could forget that creepy Burger King mascot from the mid-2000s? The plastic-faced king who popped up in people's beds, stared through windows, and generally looked like he belonged in a horror movie? That thing was supposed to make the brand appealing again. Instead, it scared away families and became an internet meme for all the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, McDonald's was busy strengthening brand loyalty with Happy Meals, Ronald McDonald, and a sense of comfort and familiarity. Burger King went the other direction, weird, unsettling, and desperate for attention. The result? Stagnant sales and a generation of customers who associated Burger King with creepy commercials instead of craveable food. Eventually, the company ditched the mascot and tried to rebrand, but by then the damage was done. They kept changing logos, slogans, and marketing campaigns, everything except the one thing that mattered most, better food. And the problems don't stop at the counter. Walk into a typical Burger King today, and you'll feel like you've traveled back in time. Faded walls, flickering fluorescent lights, cracked booth cushions, and decor straight out of the 1990s. It's depressing. While McDonald's remodeled its restaurants to feel modern, sleek, and even a little upscale, Burger King locations often look like relics of a bygone era. Here's the kicker: when Burger King actually does renovate, their sales jump by double digits. Double digits. And yet, most locations remain untouched, stuck in a visual time capsule. It's like they discovered the secret to success and then decided to ignore it. The same goes for technology. While competitors rolled out mobile ordering, digital kiosks, and apps that actually work, Burger King's digital transformation has been painfully clumsy. Their app feels outdated, their online deals rarely impress, and their drive-thrus are slow. In a world where convenience is everything, Burger King still feels like it's figuring out Wi-Fi. And it's not just customers who are frustrated, it's the franchise owners too. Running a Burger King used to be a golden opportunity. Today, it's more like running a sinking ship. Rising food costs, declining foot traffic, and lack of corporate support have left many franchisees drowning in debt. In 2024 alone, Burger King announced plans to close 400 underperforming locations. That's not a tweak. That's a crisis. Franchise owners say they can't afford the expensive renovations corporate demands, yet they aren't allowed to make smaller improvements on their own. It's a bureaucratic nightmare. The result? Outdated stores, inconsistent food, and customers who decide it's not worth stopping by anymore. And that's the real tragedy, because Burger King's problem isn't just competition. It's irrelevance. The fast food world has exploded with innovation. Korean fried chicken, gourmet tacos, poke bowls, vegan cafes, food isn't just fuel anymore. It's culture. It's identity. It's excitement. And Burger King? It's just there. Ask someone about their last Burger King meal, and they'll probably shrug. It was fine, they'll say. Not bad, not good, just fine. But in today's hyper-competitive market, fine doesn't cut it. People want an experience. They want food that feels worth eating, a brand that feels worth supporting. Instead, Burger King has become the poster child for missed opportunities. Their flame-grilled heritage, once their greatest strength, is now little more than a fading memory. Their restaurants look tired, their menus uninspired, and their leadership indecisive. Even their digital efforts feel half-baked. 8% fewer people visited Burger King in urban areas last year. That might not sound like much, but in a market this saturated, that's millions of customers gone, not to McDonald's, not even to Wendy's, but to newer, fresher, more exciting food concepts. That's the scary part. Burger King isn't just losing to its old rivals. It's losing to an entire generation of restaurants that understand what modern diners actually want: quality, transparency, and creativity. The writing is on the wall. Reinvent or become irrelevant. Because the American dining scene moves faster than ever, and nostalgia alone won't save a fading crown. Burger King has the legacy, the resources, and the recognition to rise again, but only if it finally accepts that the flame that once made it great can't survive on smoke and mirrors anymore. If Burger King wants to reclaim its throne, it has to remember why people loved it in the first place, not because it was old, but because it was bold. The world doesn't need another discount burger. It needs something worth craving again. Until then, that once mighty flame will keep flickering lower and lower, and the king will keep losing his crown.